Hello and welcome to the Wayfaring Panda. Today I'm doing a quick scrapbook layout and I'm using these pictures that I took in Yosemite, and I found these stickers that kind of go around with the sky and the water, and I picked out some coordinating papers to go with it. This is an old Creative Memory scrapbook that I'm doing, and it's a 12 by 12. But the width isn't quite exactly 12 inches, so I'm going to cut down the paper a little bit. And this paper isn't 12 by 12 also. So I'm going to cut it in half, and that way I can use it on both sides of the scrapbook layout and do a double page layout, and it won't matter that it's not 12 inches high. I like using the guillotine style paper cutters when I'm using large sheets of paper like this. I think you get a cleaner cut. Of course, you do need to be careful because there's no safety on it. And you obviously don't want any children using this type of paper cutter. But I think it cuts a lot more cleanly than the roller style does. This one we just got, I think, at a garage sale, but it was a used one either from a school or an office. So you can get old ones and get them cheaper. Now I'm just going to use my Scotch ATG gun to put down double-sided adhesive tape to adhere the paper to the scrapbook. I did get this page a little bit crooked when I put the paper on, but the Scotch ATG tape is pretty permanent, so it's very hard to move, so you have to be really careful when you put it down. You can also buy tape refills that are repositionable, but then of course they won't be as sticky, and it may not hold for as many years as the permanent one will. Plus, I also like to try to make sure that I get acid-free tape. When I was planning out this page, I noticed that I had these two border stickers that have words on them, and I decided I would use that with this pattern paper to kind of divide it from the top and bottom of the page. And on the first sticker, it just has trees on the sides of the word, so I just trimmed that off to fit the page. Since there's a little border on the side where you can't really put the sticker or the paper. But then when I put it on the right-hand side, that sticker had words that go all the way across. So I didn't want to trim it down or I'd be cutting off part of the words. So I just had it hang over on the side where there's kind of a khaki-colored border. Next, I laid out my pictures again and decide exactly if I want to cut them down more to get them to look good. And I know I'm going to mat all of these so they'll pop better on the page. So I'm just trimming them down so they have room for a mat and seeing where I like them. And on this one, I'm just using my little paper cutter. And I think this is from Creative Memories. It's a very old, small guillotine cutter. But this one does have a safety device on it. These pictures are of Tenya Lake, which is on Tioga Pass Road in Yosemite. It's in the upper country, which we were really impressed with how blue the water was. One of the things I remember about the drive is as we were coming up, we saw snow on the side of the road, even though it was in June. Next, I do my matting, and I had picked out 3 colors of cardstock, and I believe these are all from Creative Memories, but they're older papers. So I picked out a green that goes with the pattern paper, and kind of a khaki color, and a blue that I think goes really well with the lake and the sky. So I'm just trying to decide which colors to put on which pictures. And also what fits on this green piece, and I decided only the one picture would fit there. Then I've got my Fiskars paper cutter, and actually this is the one I bought for my mom, but it has more measurements on it so I can measure my photo and then I'll figure out how big to make the mat. I had picked up some brads that are shaped like hiking boots at a scrapbook convention. a couple years ago, and I decided that I'd like to use those on this page since it's kind of all hiking themed, and I'm trying to decide how big of a border to make to put the brads on. And I'm just going to do that on a few of the pictures. Here I'm just deciding how big I want my mat to be and whether the hiking boot will fit there, and I decide I actually wanted it a little bit smaller so more of the pattern paper will show. Then I use my photo mounting squares, or they're sometimes called photo splits, and use that to attach my photo to my mat. And you can use any type of double-sided adhesive, and it's good to use acid-free so that your pictures don't get ruined over the years. I decided to put my brads on the corners of my pictures, on some of them anyway. And this is actually the first time I've ever used decorative brads in a photo album. Of course, I decided these would be great. And I'm using a very small paper punch. This one is smaller than a regular size hole that you make, but I thought I'd make a cleaner punch instead of trying to punch the brad through on its own. I matted the rest of the pictures and attached them to my photo album with the photo splits and added my decorative brads. I did that off camera because I didn't think you wanted to watch me mat and put decorative brads on every single picture. Now that I've got all my pictures matted, I'm going to do some journaling. So I found this stencil, and it looks like it has like logs that make a sign. So I'm just going to use this stencil and use my brown micro pen to go around it. Now that I saved a place for my journaling, I'm going to add my stickers. And this sticker set is still sold. I think it's scrapbook.com, and I'll put a link to any products that are still available in the description below. A lot of these are creative memories that I bought from previous years, or I bought at different stores that may not have the products available anymore. Now I'm going to use this stencil. It has some lines to draw some lines for my journaling. I have very lousy handwriting, so if I do lines, it helps me at least keep it a little straighter and neater. And the good thing about having a stencil like this is you can draw any shape and add lines to it. I'm just using my brown marker again for this. And then I'm journaling with my black micro pen. I saved my Yosemite book that we used when we went traveling, and I like saving things like this or brochures you get, so then when you go home and work on your scrapbook, like this one is about 8 years later, so I can look here and say, oh, this was called Tenya Lake. Also, that helps me spell the words, so I can look up and see which hikes I went on and record it here in the journaling. I think it's important to journal because years later, when you're looking back at it, it'll help you remember more because you won't remember all the details. And also, if someone else is looking at your scrapbook, then they'll know what the pictures are about. And it makes it more personal. I want to thank you for watching. I hope this gives you some ideas for doing your scrapbook and also inspire you to get your pictures in a photo album so that you can enjoy it years later, or you can share it with your grandkids in the future or anyone else. And it's especially great for people who have Alzheimer's to look back at pictures from the past. My sister used to work at a nursing home, and she found that that was really important for those people to have memories from a long time ago. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I'd really appreciate if you can subscribe. That helps my channel and also helps you to see future videos. If you already are a subscriber, I want to thank you for supporting my channel. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. you.